Hello. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I'm Mrs. Best, and we have our frequented co-host, James, from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. He's here. You're muted, but I see you moving.
I don't know where I got the Carrie Hilson, probably Pretty Girl Rock, I think.
Oh yeah, the video when she had on the little hat.
Yes, I remember that. I was like, where am I getting this from? And she just popped into my head. Hey,
Shout out to Carrie
everybody.
Hilson.
Shout out to Carrie Hilson. That's my girl.
She's not being she was blacklisted for a while, but now she's starting to make a comeback.
It's crazy for someone to be that beautiful. But yes.
Super talented.
Yes.
Anyway, y'all, we're here to discuss the Housewives of New Jersey. This episode was season 14, episode 11. Sleepover with one eye. They open. They need to get some people to name the episodes better because it gets a little corny. It's not catchy. It's not cool. Sleepover with one eye open. You could have just said sleep and we would have understood the. But anywho, Jen Aiden meets with her nasty looking brothers. Yes, that's how I'm starting this episode. I'm choosing violence. They are not attractive people. Jen was the attractive child, but now that she's played with her face too much with surgery, it's making her less attractive. And to me, Jennifer Aiden was beautiful without the surgery. But she's so insecure, so that's why she needs girl. But she goes to be with her brothers. Why are her brothers asking about them yet? That's the thing I don't understand.
I didn't understand that either.
Don't care. Like my brothers don't care. They wouldn't care.
I don't understand. And the fact that Jen Aiden made herself look like some kind of victim
that's what she does.
Is just insane to me. As if you didn't push that lady for her to react and swing and hit you with that cup.
But that's the part that concerns me about all the siblings. And maybe that's why Jen Aiden does the crap that she does, because she's got brothers and is probably getting away with it, because she explains that she pushed Danielle as a reflex and got smacked. Why is it that her siblings can acknowledge that Jennifer Aiden pushed someone from a reflex, but that the other person who was assaulted by being pushed would not have the reflex to smack the crap out of her? Why? So I was like, okay, so your brothers are just saying whatever because they want you to pay for lunch, which we saw that she ended up doing. And I feel like the brothers and stuff tolerate her. This is really mean to say, y'all, but I'm here to state my opinion, and it's my genuine opinion. Her mama and her don't really get along too well. Her husband preferred to sleep in the pool house than deal with her. Her kids only like her because she spoils them and gives them too much food. And then you have the family. I feel like they deal with her for income and things of that nature to some extent. I just do. But moving on from that, she then explains to her siblings that she feels like nobody has her back. There's a reason why. People will, if Teresa can have people to have her back, Jennifer, then you can too. Teresa will lie and BS everybody else, right? But with Dolores, she's not doing that, if y'all peep. She's not even talking about people negatively fully with her because she knows that she can't do that. So I'm sick of Jen, and I don't even like Teresa, but Jen, even Teresa has people who have her back. If nobody has your back, then maybe because there's no reason to have your back. I don't care that you're bothered either that Teresa did not have your back. When everybody told you this from the jump, allegedly she's fired from the show. I'm hoping she is. How did you feel about that stupid scene, James?
You killing me with talking about some stupid scene. It was stupid. At the end of the day, I understand having a friend's back at the end of the day, but you weren't in any danger. Like, you weren't in any harm's way.
Right.
You started that shit with that lady, and she responded, and now you're butthurt. What was Teresa supposed to defend, or what back was she supposed to have? Like, come on, like, you being ridiculous. Let me explain something to you. The only person out of this entire cast that Teresa is going to have the back of is Dolores. You are delusional if you think that lady's going to have your back and is going to stand up for you. She may do it in a way where it's vain, where it makes her look good. But ultimately, if it comes down to a real life situation, the only person she's going to protect is Dolores. And that's what I said. And the reason why she's going to protect Dolores, because I feel like Dolores whooped her ass one time. I'm telling you. The only because Dolores, when I tell you, she don't get mad at Dolores. And Dolores does some things that she don't have Teresa back all the time. She tell Teresa when she wrong, but Teresa shut up and nod that head and had that stupid look on her face. When
I agree. I agree. He ain't never lied. That's probably the truth because she doesn't. Teresa really doesn't challenge Dolores like that. She'll say more to the confessional than she will to Dolores. She ain't gonna do it, which is strange because one thing I will give Teresa, she don't care who you are. She'll battle you if you say something she don't like. So, that's what it is. So we did see Danielle and Rachel having a play date with their kids. But they end up discussing Danielle's dad. She says that her dad didn't reprimand her for her bad behavior and things of that nature when she was growing up. That explains to me exactly why she is the way that she is. She was spoiled, which we see. But she also explains to Rachel that she ended up getting at Jen, telling her she looked terrible at Teresa's event in the cathedral. And I'm just going to say this. Production has Rachel throwing a pajama party for the women. They're going to have like a sleepover night. Ergo, the name of the episode, Sleepover with One Eye Open. She's inviting everybody, including Jennifer Fessler and Jackie Goldschneider. She is not inviting Teresa, which I can understand. Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with Teresa either. But yeah, I'm not gonna add too much from that. We got a lot of nothing seen, so I'm gonna move on if that's okay, James.
I just have one thing to say because I'm actually going to disagree with you. I would have got an Airbnb and paid the extra security deposit. I would have invited Teresa just to see what kind of shit gonna fly up in there. It's just been messy. They need to do something. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, this production shouldn't have allowed the season to film like this. This is still these women's jobs. They need to interact with each other. And if they can't, then get rid of people and stop keeping the person that fans have been demanding is gone for years. It's time for Teresa to go. It's time for Jennifer Aiden to go. It's time for Melissa to go. I keep Dolores, make her the front runner, keep everybody else. I even think it's time for Marge to go, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, these women annoy the hell out of me. Anywho, Teresa and Gia, I'm getting annoyed with seeing Gia on this show. She's studying at home. Why is Teresa bringing her a rice cake with peanut butter, but you got a whole cookbook? We ain't seen this woman cooking I don't know how long. But they mentioned Louis' case. Louis, her husband, for those who may not be familiar with the show, has a case. He is an ex who we've seen in the tabloids the moment that Teresa was spotted out from him before they even confirmed a relationship. He is an ex that he's been fighting in court because she has a restraining order against him. And he wants to fight it. He doesn't want this order against him. For those who don't know, having a restraining order in a lot of states means you can't have a gun. Employers can see it. It does make your life a little bit more difficult. It's kind of like being a felon, but not actually being a felon, if that makes sense. But they are filing. The lady filed the restraining order against Louis for harassment. She says that he would not leave her alone. And in my opinion, you guys, I'm going to say like this. Teresa and her family do a good job at playing the victim. They did this through the whole going to prison thing. Oh, our daughters are impacted. Well, you guys weren't thinking about your daughters while you were defrauding the federal government, knowing that you're not an American citizen. You weren't thinking of your daughters then. Now you are. You weren't thinking of your daughters while flipping tables, which could have caught you a real charge. Now you are. Like, stop. So I'm just like, this lady would not have been able, everybody, to file the restraining order for harassment of all things if she did not have proof for court, one. And two, this would have been dismissed. This would have been dismissed if there was nothing there. He wouldn't be fighting to dismiss something if this woman did not have some type of proof. That's just my opinion. Teresa's blaming Marge because she's like, Marge was talking to the ex. The ex was talking before Marge even knew her. The ex has talked because he tried to date another housewife on Miami The ex has spoken before he even got with Teresa. So this has nothing to do with Margaret. Now, Margaret's a part of it, yes. And Margaret has admitted, yes, I talked to her because you guys sent the private investigator after her and called her son's place of employment, her child's place of employment, and threatened him and her. So that's not okay. Louis and them like to act like they're innocent. They are not innocent in this situation. It is not Marge's fault that Louis is creepy and harassed someone. I'm genuinely annoyed with that. I'm annoyed with it. Anywho, y'all, why would she get with the guy with the case, James? Why would she get with the guy? Because she says, I knew about this from the beginning. And Teresa claims she's going to have her attorney explain to the ladies that Marge is to blame for Louis' legal issues.
This is
I
this
don't
is
know an attorney
where
that would do that.
this is where delusions of grandeur. I feel like she has been coached by Louis to think that this case is what she says it is on national TV to make him look good. And it's easy to point the blame at Marge because of her having a quote unquote either conversation or dealing with whomever the ex girlfriend was. I feel like that's beyond the point. I feel like she was trying to get a character analysis because she wanted to make sure she had everything in her corner before this went in there. I think that that's what Marge is trying to do because
Yeah.
there's no other reason why I feel like she would have talked to that lady if she didn't try to get a character analysis on Luke. That's just how I
Yeah.
look at it.
The other thing is with Marge too, Louis went into this bothering a lot of these people. He has to understand too, coming on TV, somebody was going to talk to you. They have no reason to be mad at Marge, but they're looking for a reason. And it drives me insane. Teresa, how about this? And I know there's a lot of Teresa fans out there. I'm sorry, y'all can argue me down. Go Google Louis right now and what the FBI is doing with his company. And then y'all come back and talk to me. Talk about that. What's stressing you is a bullshit ass restraining order? No, I'd be more stressed that the FBI and federal agencies are looking into my partner for fraud, especially when the last partner of Teresa's got looked into for fraud. She had to go to prison too. And we know that lady ain't smart enough to defraud anybody. So I thoroughly blame Joe Giudice for that. But Teresa's not smart at all. But then when it comes to men, she's even, it's really bad to say, but she goes from like, she just has no intelligence when it comes to men. That's what I'll say. It annoys me, but we're gonna move on. She really get on my nerves, y'all. Like make my teeth itch and everything. And if she's not forced to talk about the fraud and the accusations and the charges that the federal government is bringing against her husband's company next season, stop bringing her back, Bravo, because she got something to say about everybody. But when it's something connected to her, she's tight-lipped or given special privileges, and I'm tired. So we see Dolores Catania and Jen Fessler meet up. I'm sick of Jen Fessler. But Dolores brings up that Teresa was stressed out at her event when she got into it with Jennifer Aiden. And Teresa, she says, is stressed out and is not herself because of Louis' case. I don't think Louis' restraining order would stress her out to this extent. Because what are people going to say? Oh, he allegedly, was violent towards this person. I think what's really stressing her out is the fraud thing, but she don't want to talk about that on camera is what it gives because it's a legit case. That's my personal opinion. But Dolores is defending Teresa down. And she says that she yelled at Jennifer Aiden because she felt like Teresa could not handle being yelled at that moment.
One thing I'm gonna give Dolores, and I ain't gonna give Dolores too much because she getting on my nerves this season, but she will defend the hell out some Teresa. I like when I tell you, and I think with any of these ladies, it doesn't have to be Janae. I think could be any of these ladies. She gonna defend Teresa, and I feel like to me, I don't like when people have blind loyalty. I don't. I feel like even though Jennifer Aiden was full of shit, I feel like she still has some sense because she is loyal to Teresa. I will give her that. Jen Aiden is loyal to Teresa and will fight Teresa's battles, even if the shit is stupid. So I feel like Dolores, you kind of do the same thing. So for you to yell at her when you know you do that same shit, it kind of annoyed me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That annoyed me.
I feel like you yell at her because she yelled at Teresa, but you didn't yell at her when she waved the knife in Melissa's face and did all this extra stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Dolores gets on my nerves with that, but she wants to have a retreat uh, for the ladies, which we find out. But before we get there, Jennifer Fessler reads a text that she sent to Rachel. If you have to read a text you sent to me apologizing to someone for something you did that was wrong, you're not a friend. Why are you sharing the text of the apology? It's almost like, look, there's proof I apologize. That to me is super whack. It's annoying. It's also very weird. Now, Dolores feels like Jennifer Fessler and Rachel Fuda cannot be close because of the age difference. I believe Rachel Fuda is 32. She's under 35. I know that. And Jennifer Fessler is much older. I don't think just because somebody's much older, you can't be friends. I think it depends on that older person.
I feel like when I listened to that, I feel like she was trying to make an excuse for them to like kind of baby her in a way. And it was like, that's a stupid thing to say because I have friends that are way older than me and I have friends that are younger
Right.
than me. So I kind of feel like that's kind of a, to me, and then not to mention Dolores, what does that say about you? Because you way older than her too. So I'm trying to figure out where was you going with this?
She
Like,
doesn't know. Dolores
yeah,
has been
like
floppy this season. So flip floppy and wishy washy. I don't like it. It's annoying. Sorry, Dolores. We still love you, but
absolutely. Let me tell you, Dolores, you're my favorite. You will always be my favorite because I feel like somewhere, I don't care about your ancestry and what it says, somewhere down the line, you is black somewhere. So I'm just going to say, for the first black lady of Real Housewives of New Jersey, I'm always going to big up you, but stop doing this foolishness on this camera.
mhm. I'm tired. We're all freaking tired. Um, Dolores also invites her to the event that Rachel is having, the little slumber party. Let me say this: Jennifer Fessler did not want to go. Felt the need to share an apology. If somebody got to convince you to go somewhere or to make amends with someone, it's not genuine. So that kind of just soured my whole like hopes um for Fessler and Fuda to make up, because Fuda's being forced into it by Dolores. I don't buy it. And I don't think Fessler will ever be a full-time housewife. She's too boring and wishy-washy. I don't like her now. But we did see Teresa and Jennifer mess up, or meet up, not mess up. Just in my mind, they're always messing up, y'all. And immediately, Teresa does apologize to Jen Aiden about her event, and she explains her side. And I'm not going to get at Teresa this time because I mean her side was valid, regardless if the event was BS. It was her event, and it does make sense that she would have a question and answer after and a meet and greet, which she says that's what she had while the ladies were arguing back there. And she's trying to say that that's the reason she didn't defend Jen Aiden, because we know that Teresa always has an excuse. But in this moment, I feel like her excuse was actually valid. I'm not arguing with nobody at my event, especially over something that don't got much to do with me. And in this situation, it didn't. So I got that. But Jen gets to talking and did not stop. She didn't stop. I don't even care what she said. I felt alone and I don't know why you're not defending me. Blah, 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 blah. She would not stop. Even when Teresa could try to speak, she just would not let her speak. She just kept talking and 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 talking. Nothing was solved, but they're gonna be friends. How you felt, James?
The same way you feel, nothing's going to be solved. This is stupid. Like I said, it's crazy to see a whole bunch of 40 plus and 50 plus year old women act like 17-year-olds trying to win student body president. It is really ridiculous.
Not student body president.
That's what this reminds me of. All of them, they arguing, they have cases over nothing over each other. And there's always a common denominator, and that's Teresa. And see, instead of y'all just ignoring her and not filming with her and continuing this and stop bringing her up in conversation, Jim Fessler, we wouldn't be going through this. You and Jackie, y'all both get on my nerves.
Brown nosers, ass kissers. That's just what they do. Um, I pretty much agree with what James is saying, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. But we get to Rachel's slumber party and everything is going well. The vibes are right until Jennifer Fessler arrives. She's so focused on pleasing Teresa while also keeping friends that you could tell she just came in with horrible energy. If you didn't want to go, let me tell you this, if I don't want to be somewhere, if I don't want to be around somebody, there's nothing that anybody in the world could do to get me to go around that person. Why? What for? Why am I deciding to be around people I don't like? So, Jim Fessler, if you didn't want to be there, you shouldn't have freaking came. She annoyed me this whole episode. She really did. But she and Rachel immediately talk, and Jennifer explains that she has no energy left to fight. Okay, but she has energy to be messy. And Rachel says she wishes Jen would have pulled her aside to talk to, instead of talking with everybody else about, how she defended John, which I agree. And that does make sense. She didn't need to bring it up in front of multiple people. It felt like Jim Fessler was doing a lot so that she could be relevant on camera because she gives friend Dove that would love to be full time. That's just my opinion, especially because she did a season and got the Ozempic, her face done, plus that she did a bunch. So I think she's prepping to come on the show in her mind. Um, but Jennifer Fessler tries to tell Rachel Fuda, I felt disregarded by you not responding to me. And it's like, well, yeah, you're going to feel disregarded by somebody when you break the boundary of their husband. And you should get that because you're married. So I don't know about how everybody do their marriage, but I don't play about my husband. You're not going to disrespect him or play with him or mention his name in a space that I've asked you not to and think that we just going to be cool. Like, she's lucky Rachel gave her a conversation, but they do make peace. Jennifer Fessler and Rachel do make peace, but if you watch What Happens Live, you know that Rachel must have made peace for the camera because they ain't friendly no more, like off camera. So, how'd you feel about the talk between Fessler and Fuda?
Okay. People may not agree with me on this one, but if we're talking about the actual situation that happened, the episode at Danielle's launch party, if that's what we're still talking about, I actually agree with Jim Fessler. I feel like Rachel was way too sensitive. I feel like she should have heard her out because realistically, it was Gia asking Fessler what was the conversation with John Food. Like she could have asked anybody. So would have Rachel have gotten mad if, let's say, Danielle brought that to her? So I don't know. I kind of feel like Rachel was way too sensitive.
I feel both ways. Rachel was too sensitive because, yes, she should have stayed and heard her out. Two, if everybody is telling you that this person was defending your partner, then clearly that's what it was.
Right.
But then at the same time, I also get her point of like, you shouldn't have presented that in front of everybody. You should have pulled me aside because it sounds like what Rachel, when she's pinpointing what she was upset about, was more so after she had already spoken to Gia, how she was telling other people about it, trying to defend John. But I essentially it does look like Jen Fessler was trying to like explain and show people. So it gets back to Rachel, like, I'm defending you, I'm defending you. That's the problem with
It
the whole
wasn't even, yeah, it wasn't even so much.
me.
Yeah, and I got that too. That's what I say. That's why I said I'm more on Fessler's side. I even though I don't want to say that, but I thought Rachel was tripping. I really do because at the end of the day,
They
she
haven't
did
known each
defend.
other that long either.
Right, and that's another thing. To me, I kind of would have given her the benefit of the doubt, and I'd kind of been like, okay, well, thank you for defending my husband. At the end of the day, I don't fool with her. I don't like her or her little daughter over there. So next time, if it comes up, just shut it down there, and you don't have to tell me anything from going forward. I would have handled it like that if that were me. But as I said, Rachel's immature and she's reverting to hurt feelings because of what happened between her and Teresa, which I get. But at the same time,
I don't think she should expect so much loyalty from somebody she just met with Fessler. That's my only beef with it. These women don't know each other that well and not that long. They've both been here for a season. So I don't, there's
yeah,
no reason to be that mad.
yeah, but I
But
brought up the
Fessler's
point that
also
if
wrong, and we can't defend her because she's screwing over everybody else, including good
She
friends
is.
she's had for decades, such as Marge, off the show, just for what looks like for fame.
Yeah, she is. We're not disputing that either. But but as I said, if we're talking about this present situation, I feel like if that would have came by way of Danielle, I don't think Rachel would have been mad. And that's what's not fair about that situation. Or if it came by Dolores. If Dolores told her, look, Gia was talking about him and I defended your husband because I felt like she was out of place and everything, I don't think Rachel would have like had that type of reaction. I
The
really
other
don't.
thing too, we have to remember, she of the cast, the people that she bonded with and had a relationship with off camera from the show was mainly Jen Fessler, not Dolores, not Danielle. Her and Danielle actually beefed last season. So,
Right.
I'm not surprised. I doubt that she would be upset at that than expecting it. I think with Rachel, she's just very, very sensitive when it comes to her husband, which she should be. But at the same time, don't expect a friend out of somebody you just met. That's my personal opinion. But I get annoyed because at this event, an intuitive empath, the bitch is a psychic, aka scandal. But she claims she's an intuitive empath, and I was cracking up because Jackie gonna say she's surprised she's not a New York Times bestseller. Jackie, why are you surprised at that? People only liked you for a short period because you were the only person on the show who would check the hell out of Teresa. Now, I don't know what happened since you left the show and came back. It seems like you've forgotten all of your education and are up Teresa's, poop shoot. And I can't understand it. Why are you surprised you're not? I don't does anybody know what Jackie's book is about? Because if it's about her life, and from what we've heard so far, I'm not interested. It's either going to be a snooze fest, depress me, send me to therapy, or put. I mean, what is the book about? Somebody comment who's watching the replay. What's good, replay gang? I appreciate you guys. What is this book about? Because I don't care enough to Google it. Somebody tell me. Somebody. I would love to know.
Anybody. Yeah.
Anybody, whoever it is, even if we're not live no more, just comment it on and we'll respond because I'm really curious. But Danielle bakes a cake for the party. It has all the ladies on it, and one of the ladies is falling. I don't understand it, but I thought it was funny. But Danielle sometimes tries too hard. Jenna's just determined to embarrass Bill, everybody, because she has no clue what it means to milk a prostate, and she kept talking about milking Bill's prostate. I will not be your sexual education teacher. I will not be the one teaching you guys what it means to milk a prostate. But it's not something that
It actually makes a lot of sense to me.
I don't think she. I'm just.
No, it actually makes a lot of sense. I think because to me, because I feel like that's what Jackie Christie does to Doug.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. And I would say allegedly for that situation because I can't prove it. But I really feel like I don't want to explain what that is either. But I 100% believe it.
Either way, she's once again embarrassing her husband. That poor man. Moving on. The last thing we see is my mic muted for whatever reason. Streamer is tripping and keeps muting, unmute me. Dolores is wanting to have a retreat where she's going to invite all of the ladies, Teresa included. Jackie and Dolores both had the audacity to say you should be able to get along with somebody that you don't like, in a cordial fashion. When they both have kind of struggled with that, especially Jackie. But they asked to let Dolores and Jennifer invite Teresa. And I'm just like, you guys are stupid. It's your event. Why did you have to say, leave inviting Teresa up to me? I don't do that. If I plan a trip and invite people, you get 1+1 and that's it. That's it. You get 1+1 and that person has to be approved. It can't be nobody I don't like, no weird people. Don't try to come on vacation me with the toxic spouse. Like, I don't get that, but that's pretty much where the episode ended. So I'm gonna let James give his opinion.
I agree. I feel like, well, first of all, feel like production put Dolores up to this because she's
Yep.
mutually cool with everybody. So it wouldn't make sense for anyone else to do the trip because then people will be excluded. So Dolores has to take one for the team. Um, I feel like Jackie shouldn't go. And I feel like Fessler shouldn't go. So it should only be the main cast members of the show.
I agree.
But I
Jackie
know
Kessler, even the way that they're trying to go about being relevant friends of, I just can't get with them. I cannot. I just can't. Jackie
right.
is kissing ass for sport, and Jim Fessler just gives off the energy of desperate for this show. If you're willing to throw away a 20-plus year friendship,
I feel like this is Marge's fault in a way. And let me explain why. Because Marge gives me, she type that she'll show you her pay stub to say, "Oh my God, I'm on the show and I make all this money,"
I'll
and it's
show
just
you her pay
nothing.
stub.
Yeah, I feel like she's that kind of person. I don't know why I get that from her because I do like Marge, I do, but I just feel like she's that kind of person. I feel like well, show and Jennifer Fessler saw that mouth dropped wide open and was like, I have to get on this show by any means necessary, even if that means I'm throwing my 20-year friendship with Marge down the toilet to be friends with Teresa. I'm going to do it because Marge showed me her check stub and I saw lots of zeros, and this is what I'm going to do to get on the show. That's what she gives me. They both give me that. So to me, I feel like this somehow is Marge's fault without it being Marge's fault. Just saying. I could be wrong, and I don't really care. I don't really care one way or
I
the
mean,
other.
yeah, I'm sure Marge is doing that as well with her friends, but it's
I can
not her
see her doing it.
fault.
That's why I feel like that's what happened.
It's her fault that Jim Fessler's on the show, but it's not her fault how she's behaving. Um,
No, not at all. Yeah.
yeah, at all. But that's it, y'all. This episode didn't give nothing.
Right.
I'm just keeping it real. They don't have nothing. They're just waiting to get to the fight that ended production and ripped the reunion. So I don't know what they're doing. I think Bravo needs to scrap really all the OG Housewife shows, which are not scrap, but like do legacy for Orange County desperately needs it.
You know,
Jersey
I was
desperately
thinking
needs
about
it.
it.
Atlanta needs it. Like,
I feel like they need to do Real Housewives with regular everyday people. I do. I feel like they need regular everyday people because Monica Garcia was so relatable in so many different ways and made Salt Lake City back on the map again that I feel like they need to go back with that kind of avenue of like regular, Bravo in that call center. I ain't called y'all out all month. Bravo in that call center. Y'all come to Phoenix. I will headline the Housewives of Phoenix. I have 6 ladies already ready to go and be on TV for y'all. They work regular jobs, but they are off the weekends, and we could film on the weekends. We go to events. NASCAR is here, basketball is here. I even know a baseball wife or two if y'all want them. I know they will do the show. They don't do nothing else. So I know they will do the show. So yes, and I can headline. You can have your first male housewife. Yes, it can happen. Just saying. Since
all
y'all want
right,
to put me on Summer South Martha Vineyard. Sorry to throw that out there.
all right, y'all. But that was it for the episode. So we will be back next week. I don't know why it stopped because Jersey keeps taking breaks and doing weird stuff, but we should be back next week on Monday. I just realized today is Tuesday.
Yep.
Lord, I'm all behind you guys this week. But we'll be back next week, Monday, to go over the Housewives of New Jersey. We'll be on James's channel tomorrow for the Housewives of Dubai, as well as Love and Marriage Huntsville. Then we'll be on my channel for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Be sure to subscribe. Check the description of this video. There's a link to James's channel. Like the video. Remember, you are awesome. We will be having a music review next. I appreciate everybody, including the replay game, and I'll see you next week. Thank you, James.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.